returning to traditional seeds and farming methods developed over thousands of years.
In a lot of our teachings, food is at the basis of the entire Haudenosaunee community.
For the Haudenosaunee, corn is more than a crop. It's a teacher. Roger Cook was taught one of its most important lessons by his grandfather. When making decisions, always look to the seventh generation.
All the things that we do in the garden, we're always thinking about that seventh generation. It's a lot of hard work to put into the corn so that...
All right, so I've gotten 34 minutes into watching this, and I wonder about the accurateness of describing the tales of America and how it was founded. They associate Native American tribes with democracy, right? But when you listen to some of the old tapes or you look at some of the old readings, right? You take, for instance, the Constitution. The Constitution doesn't necessarily say anything about democracy, right? But it says a lot about Republican. It says a lot about republics. You have a North Carolina Constitution, which guarantees a republic, right? You have a Virginia Constitution, which guarantees a republic. You have all these states that guarantees a republic, but they don't say anything about a democracy. The U.S. Constitution doesn't say anything about democracy. So it gets confusing when you see, like, you have someone in your family who may, like, I've seen this, right? There's black men between the ages of 60 and 70, throughout America, right? Black men who have the name Hiawatha. Now, a lot of us don't know where this name came from. Like we some people who have this first name, right? Their last name is People. Like, I know someone who has that name, Hiawatha People. And by them having this name, right, it's not passed down from like generation to generation, like why you should keep the name, where the name came from, how long the name has been used. It's not passed down. But like when you look at their names, right? Like his name is Roger Cook. The last name Cook, that's an African American last name. Cook, that's an African American last name. So when you dive deep into the genealogy of the Mohawk people, right, you start to see African Americans, right? But they're not depicted in this particular documentary. They're not depicted in it. And then you got Roger, right, which is kind of like a sabbatical name for like the military. It's a sabbatical, right? So they have these names that tells you like, okay, it comes from African American tradition. But you kind of see when you're looking at it, right? African Americans are not represented as Native America. They're not represented as it. They're not. So when you see people who come here from foreign lands, they tend to believe like this is very accurate and that, African Americans are from a place called Africa, that they're not indigenous to a place called America. They're not. And that's what people will tend to believe. With no understanding of what possibly could have happened and before that. No possibility, right? So to me, when I'm looking at this, right, I'm trying to make a guess, how can I gauge African American culture to Native American culture? How can I gauge? And you see, there's not really much to gauge because, like, African American culture, the little that is left, which hasn't been lost, right? Much of it is Native American culture. That's why I make my videos, right? When I'm making those cartoon videos, I add the 70s R&B to it. That's the Native American culture right there. You know, like growing up on the south side of Chicago, right? The elders, they always used to play the 70s R&B along King Drive, right? When I was a kid. And everybody know King Drive for, what's happening over there by 63rd and 64th, what's happening over there now. Well, when I was growing up over there, the elders used to play that type of music. They weren't playing poor music, poor tune music. They were playing the 70s R&B, the Whispers, Marvin Gaye, Stylistics, the Impressions, all of that. The Manhattans. That's the stuff they used to play. And you can hear it coming up the street, coming down King Drive, right? That long corridor. You can hear the music playing throughout, the different side streets. You can hear it playing. And this would be like at 8 p.m. at night, 7 p.m. at night. You can hear it. You can hear the music playing. Everybody be driving their Cadillacs. Everybody have on their Sunday's best, That's the culture that a lot of these kids are not experiencing now. That we experienced when we were growing up. And I know, like, when I was growing up, that type of culture, that was like the end of their own era and what they had been used to growing up with their parents, right? Which have been a much better experience because we just got the end of it, right? Going through the vinyl records. You know what I mean? Like I have a vinyl record collection. I have the big disc and a small disc. I have a vinyl records collection, right? And like some of that is like the best music you can have. The oldies, those are like the best music you can have. And to me, that's Native American culture. To have oldies, that's Native American culture. So like when I see this, right, and I see them playing on the drums, I see them not necessarily playing with the instruments, that's what kind of confuses me right there. Because it's like the majority of the culture that you see in this video is just arts and crafts. It's like the wampum belt. Well, that's like somebody matching colors, on a Friday evening after school. That's like somebody matching colors with cloths, And black people have a factory of different selections and tastes of what they can choose from as far as what they want to wear. And they can sport it real good, right? So when I see them, I'm like, where's the music at? Like, are you all just banging on drums, playing the flute? Like, where's the soul? Like, where's the music coming from? And that's where I think, like, you can't deny African Americans the fact that they have Native American culture. You can't deny them, even if the anthropologists are not saying anything about this, right? Even if they're not, supporting this with, their own evidence or with their own findings and their own research. You can't deny African Americans this, because we have oldies, we have arts and crafts, you know. You know what I mean? So like we everything that we did, um, even when you talk about botanicals or like farming, um, honeybee preservation, like we did all of that, and we're still doing that today in some scattered parts. Honey, we did honey, um, and we're still doing that today, like honey coon, honey rabbit, all that, right? Honey, deer, poaching deer, all of that, right? We did all of that, and we're still doing it today. You know, so I don't think you can't take native, you can't specialize Native American culture and just say like, oh, it just belongs to this group right here. No, African Americans are Native American culture, in my opinion. From what I seen growing up in Chicago in the 90s, we are the epitome of Native American culture. I would emphatically say that. From what I've seen, we are the epitome of it. There's this cat on the West Coast, right? I think he's like 26, 25, 24, somewhere around there. He plays flutes, and he always have a different flute every time he uploads a video, and he plays it with harmony. He has the Native American flutes. He plays them with harmony. I don't know where he get his from. He puts the link in the description where he buys them from, but like he buys them from different places. And he'll show like, oh, this is bass F, this is bass D or something like that, right? And he'll show like how to play the flutes, and he does it with harmony. And so it's like, you just can't look at us and say, oh, you're Nigerian. You can't do that, because I'm starting to think like, if you're gonna say we're Nigerian, right, you got to make a fact in saying, oh, Nigerians, where were Nigerians at? Were Nigerians in Washington, D.C.? Where were they at? Were they in Seattle, Washington? Like, where were Nigerians at in the Americas? Because you just can't say pinpoint, okay, Nigerians, they were in Africa and they were in this area right here all along, right? When that place was founded, the Nigerian that we know today, it was founded around the 1960s. So where were they at before that? That's where you got to ask yourself, okay, haplogroup L, oldest haplogroup, mtDNA, dating of all the other haplogroups like A, B, C, D, and X, and Q. Those are baby haplogroups compared to haplogroup L and haplogroup M. I have haplogroup L and haplogroup M in my mtDNA. Even when you say haplogroup A, as far as your Y DNA, that's older than the mtDNA for haplogroup A. And that puts you in America, because we were people who were traveling back and forth. And some of our DNA don't even match with, some of our brothers and sisters in Africa. It don't even match. Like Albert Perry, it don't match. Like, yeah, we share woolly hair, we share dark skin, but the majority of our DNA does not match. Whether you're looking at alleles or whatnot, it doesn't match. And you can look at an African American, and you can look at an African and be like, okay, I know this person is from here, I know this person is from there. You can kind of see. You can kind of see where the phenotypes divide. And you can kind of see where we became related through mother and father DNA genetic matching. But these people here, we don't really know where they come from. And that's why I say we got to look at the haplogroups. You can find a black person doing their ancestry, their genealogy, their DNA, right, online. Like me, you can find mine because mine is on my channel. But you just can't find theirs because they don't upload their information. They don't do that. They don't do it. You know? Everybody's quiet. Like, okay, who has haplogroup A? Who has crop? Everybody's quiet. Now, these people, right, they probably have haplogroup A, B, C, and D, and X, and, and Q. They probably just have Q. They probably don't even have the other ones. They probably just have Q. We haven't seen their DNA. We know where it's going to put them as far as once they do their DNA, right, it's going to say, oh, they're from, like, these are the Seneca people, right, Mohawk. It's probably going to say they're from New York or something like that. Or it's going to say Canada region. It's going to say United States, Canada, right? And then for black people, it's probably going to say West Central Africa or something like that. Or Nigeria. That's what you got to find out. It's like, why are we matching with Nigeria? That's what you got to find out. Because we don't have any oral tradition of us being from Nigeria. Especially since we know that place was just founded in 1960 something. We don't have no records of knowing the people there. Like literally, I just did my DNA test, ancestry DNA, and I looked on the genetic match for cousins, and all my cousins dang near Mexican, European. I can't find one person who is just like 100% Nigerian. Not one person. I can find some Trinidadians who I match with, who are my cousins, right? I know one lady down there I think she's through my grandmother's side, and through her father's side, I think that is where I'm matching with them, and I think that's Fraser Ford. But other than that, like all my cousins are like South America, Central America, Europe. I can't find one cousin from Africa. And if I do find a cousin from Africa, it's going to be like half, which means African American side mixed in with their African side, right? So it's going to be a half and half. It's not going to be, oh, your African side was mixing in with the African side. Nah. And it's some people who can find their whole cousin who is African, who have both parents from Africa. It's some people who can find it, but I can't find it. And you're talking about someone who is very dark skinned, who can't find that link. And like all my percentages for African DNA, right, they're low. Because like my highest is 26% Nigerian. Like someone from my complexion, you would think it'd be like 40%. But it's relatively low. Like I have a high percentage for Western Bantu, but like all my other DNAs, they're like low. So And then when I upload my DNA to Andros, it says what 34% or something like that Native American DNA. So how is it that it's reporting that high, but on Ancestry DNA it's not reporting that high? Like, what reference panels are these companies using? You know what I'm saying? Like, what reference panels? What reference panels are they using? And this is not a slight, right? I'm just saying, like, you can't deny if you've ever been to Chicago, you've ever lived on the South Side, the way the people talk, the things that you hear, the culture between the different youth groups, all that stuff says Native American culture. It's not even Mississippi culture when you think about it, because like Mississippi is like rural. Mississippi culture is like rural. Mississippi is like country, so you don't really see the gatherings, the large gatherings and stuff like you don't see that. But what you see in Chicago is you see this semblance of culture that just meshes well together. Besides the violence, right? Even in the violence, you see the culture. That's distinct to that part. Like just go and look at a Chicago rap video, a drill rap video. Type into the search engine for YouTube drill Chicago and just look at the videos. Chicago has a unique culture that I think no Native American tribe of present day has. None of them. Like none of the tribes have this culture. And you can kind of see like some of the youth on the reservations, they try to copy it. They try to copy hip hop, right? But it doesn't come off the way that it comes off in Black America. It doesn't come off the same way. It doesn't. You know? So I don't know, man. Like I look at it like, like what are they trying to hide? You know what I mean? Like what are they trying to hide? And like on my true ancestry, right? I have genetic matches to Aztec. And it's like a lot of African Americans have matches with this particular civilization. They do. Because most African Americans are from Mexico. They're from Peru. It'll show in your DNA. Like I have 1% Peru. Not only on my ancestry DNA, but also on my Andros DNA. And I can see it on my true ancestry because they show in the red maps where you're most genetic familiar with, and mine show Peru. Like I have a lot of red dots in South America. And I think like in order for African Americans to be great, we have to go back and say, where did we go wrong? Why are Africans so happy and African Americans are not happy? That's where we have to check ourselves, right? I think we have to ask ourselves, do we need to go back and live in these type of civilizations? Do we need to have more technology deployed from off the military bases onto the civilian bases? Do we need to do that? And I think we do need to do that. We need the sonic machines where it can heal our brains, right, from all the trauma. Start to erase certain traumatic experiences in our past. Get rid of the people who are no good to civilization. You know? Get rid of this spirit called hate. This demon spirit called hate. Get rid of it. You know? That's what I think. That's what I think, right? I mean, think about it, right? If these people were really the Aztecs, the Mayans, the Toltec, all these people, right? All these civilizations, if these people, why are they not living like that today? Why is it that wherever we go, right, they're surrounded amongst us? And we always have this one person, right, who may be of older age, who could remember when it wasn't like that. Like we remember when this entire area was black and we didn't even see these people. We didn't even know of these people. Like, why is it that these people are not living in these civilizations today and they're accustomed to it? Like, why is this Mayan ruin, or what is this, an Aztec ruin, right? Why is this place empty? Like, think about it. Like, why is it empty? Why aren't these people living like this today? And this is what I think. I think black people were actually the people who held these ruins. That's what I think. It's too much they're hiding for it not to be true. Like, as if you need to hide everything, you need to make everything suspect in believing. That means that you're hiding the truth. Like everything that poses a possibility or risk to like being fortunate to your thought, and you try to block it out and say, "Oh, that didn't exist" or something like that, or you try to provide evidence that it didn't exist. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Because most black people don't have no recollect of living in Africa, coming from Africa, or just like being a part of that civilization over there. Like, no one. No one. Like, even when you look at the people, even though blacks have European admixture, right? You should still be able to see the admixture that's left behind between the dark-skinned Americans and the dark-skinned Africans. You don't see it. You don't see it. So where's our phenotype coming from? Because if you say it's because we mix with Europeans, well, wouldn't that mean that we have to be much lighter? And that's not always the case. Africa still hasn't produced a LeBron James. All their best players are coming from Sudan. And Sudan has a unique phenotype, a unique one. Great peace, Yakoki.